Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, y'all can see and hear me. We are going to go ahead and light that candle. That's one of my old sayings from back in the day. Matter of fact, when I said it or when I typed it in there, I was like, damn, I can't believe I actually said that. I hadn't said that in a while, not since I raced cars. But anyway, just wanted to go ahead and do this Wednesday chat. I was trying to get a guest on this evening. Work stuff hindered it, so wasn't able to be on. But we'll do it again. And I don't want to say who it was. It's going to be a surprise. So it's just going to be me. Hopefully, y'all can tolerate me. But we will have a good time. We'll go ahead and do a quick roll call on the early ones. All right, we got Mike High in the house. Kathleen, James Johnson, he picked up a PO9 to complement his PO7, and he loves the chat. Hey, man, I appreciate it, James or JJ. Y'all smash that thumbs up. Milkman, finally Wednesday. Yes. Let's see. Dennis Beckner, how's it going in Texas? Going good. So we'll get into it here in a minute. TTO Clark is saying good night, guys. I guess he is calling it an evening. A-Dubs, Parts by Teddy, Dan O'Neill, CZ Shadow 2, Lynn Holt. All right. Got Pistol Pete in the house. Yes, always good to have y'all on here. I appreciate it so much. Y'all all smash that thumbs up. I don't know if y'all follow me on the comment set or the community chat on YouTube. I've been posting a bunch of pictures. YouTube has been coming after me. They've been pulling down a bunch of y'all's comments. People go on, leave comments. It might be a little bit of cussing in it. Some aren't cussing. I will see them in the window, and then they're gone from the chat, and I go back to look at them, and it says no comment. So YouTube is deleting them. It's not me. I've also had 2 videos pulled down, some of my rant stuff about all this crap that's going on. 2 videos pulled down, and it wasn't me. It was YouTube. So they're definitely coming after me, and they're having selective what they want shown and what they don't want shown. They don't want the truth shown. They don't want opinions shown. They want their narratives shown only. So I'm just letting you be aware it's happening. And that's really the first time. I've only had one video pulled down. Like that was a long, long time ago, because they said it was not against their rules or whatever. I've had a bunch of them demonetized. They're still demonetizing tons of my videos. They'll probably demonetize this one. So that's what I'm saying. Punch that thumbs up. Anyway, that's what's happening with me. So I've been trying to do more videos, super swamped with work. But, we'll get in. And I've got a bunch of information. I will say this real quick before I forget. Botac, if anybody needs Glock 19 mags, they have them on sale for $19.99. So you can go to botac.com. And I can't post a link on here because they sell other things, if you know what I'm meaning. But they do have Glock mags for $19.99. So if somebody needs to load up, that's a pretty smoking price. And I've bought stuff from them in the past, and they're awesome. I have never had a problem with anything I've bought from them. So let's see here. Make sure I haven't missed any. Oh, hello, Parts by Teddy. Are you up in Louisiana and all that area that got hit, man? If it is, I hope you're okay. Glad you got your power back. That's awesome. BS Newsom recall. Did you have any? Did you have any inkling that he wasn't going to win? I mean, he had to bring the whole goofballs with him, and our tax dollars paid for them to fly down there to do all of that. So he had the hyena, he had dementia there, and then the whole clan. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. And half of that stuff was done by, mailed-in elections. If you go on and look, there's a lady that did a video, and she's in California, and she showed the way that you have to do those particular envelopes and everything. If you didn't put the envelope in correctly, it actually shows with a dot who you voted for. Like if you voted to recall yes or no, it actually shows through a dot. If they got it, they're just going to toss that one out. So you have to turn it backwards so they can't see the vote and have to open the envelope. So, yep, it's bad. So, but that's what I'm saying, and that's what they're trying to do to the election that we have coming up in 2022. Just watch. Oh, it's 8 o'clock where you live. Okay, gotcha. All right. Let's see here. Milkman. Sent his Staccato C2 slide to Vulcan. Oh, Vulcan Machine Works today. Thanks for the recommendation. Sure, man. Are you just having it milled for a dot, or are you having the comp done in the barrel and everything? Are you having the porting done? Just curious. Let us know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't. I don't ever take down comments, even if they're derogatory towards me. I never take them down. Never take them down. But YouTube is controlling that whole narrative. Yeah, I believe in freedom of speech and doing what you want to do. I'm all about freedom. So, you can post negative things about me. I mean, you can throw it up and say I'm an idiot. I don't care. I'll leave it up there. I'm not scared. I know who I am. Oh, Richmond, Texas. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know exactly where you are. Hey, Kathleen. Yeah, about the general he called China. Man, I'm telling you what, there's some crazy stuff there's some crazy stuff, man. Hello, Guy Comment. How are you? Uh, yes, I saw that. I saw where he was heckled, and I'm glad they heckled him. He needed to be heckled. He probably didn't understand what they were saying anyway, because we can't understand what he says. Yep, yep, yep. Let me catch up here real quick, and we will get into it. Hey, what's up, Insight? How are you doing, man? Yeah, I was talking to Insight. We were texting back and forth the other day. I don't do stickers. I don't know if y'all know that, but he has a little magnetized emblem where it says Insight Freedom, just like his icon. And he sent me one a long time ago, and it's actually the only thing over on my locker. It's really crazy. I'm an old man, but and I won't say where I'm from, but when I was a big football player in high school, and they were tearing down the old um, the old field house, and the coach reached out to me. This was God 10 years ago or so. The coach reached out to me and asked if I wanted my locker, my old locker, and I was like, "Yeah, that's cool," because they were taking the lockers out, the old lockers. So I actually have my own locker, full size locker, from when I was in high school and played football, and it's right there in the corner. So kind of a little cool thing. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that lady in the gorilla mask, boy, she's a piece of work. I wonder who hired her. Hey, Jay, how are you, man? Uh, bu- 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 bu. All right, and I've got a couple other things. I do want to talk about guns. I know that we've kind of gone off on this political thing because that is, definitely needs to be said. And I never try to hide my political beliefs. They've really came to a head with all this crap that we're dealing with now. I hope y'all are being patient with me on that because I definitely try to get information out there too, so everybody will be informed. Um, but I do have a question for y'all because this was brought up to me, and I thought it was. I mean, I hope y'all all know, but I just wanted to get y'all's input. But I was asked how often, and this is honestly, how often, or honestly, how often do you carry? Is it every day? Is it maybe like twice a week, 3 times a week? Do you carry it in your car and not on your person, or in your purse? I'm just curious. Just curious. So, and then I'll tell you mine. Y'all probably already know it, but I'll tell you mine. Yep, we passed a law here in Texas where they're talking about Biden wants the IRS to have authority to look at anyone's bank account if you make a purchase over $600. Yeah, yep, I've heard about that. They also want to find out where you've been purchasing from. And what's really funny is if you think about it, and I brought this up in a chat and even did a video on it a long time ago, but where they have like these signs posted that says, we don't have change, must pay with a credit card. They're trying to do away with like paper money. They're trying to have credit card only. So that way, pretty much everything's trackable and they know where you are and what you're buying and all that other stuff. Hello, Cajun Tigers. How are you? All right. Carry every day on my person from Milkman, Cajun Tigers every day. Kathleen rarely carry. AJ AJ is carrying all the time except while at work. Carry every day, 3 o'clock position every day. I drive a truck, local driver, 24/7. My gun is never without me. Come on, Jay Howe, you got to take a shower, brother. Carry in the shower. Yeah, Pistol Pete. Daily, every day religiously. LCP 380 in my pocket and a car PM9 inside waistband daily. Hey, Tactical Firearms, how are you, man? Yeah, and with me, y'all know it's pretty much I can't say 24/7 because I'm sleeping and it's literally like that far away from my head. However, and I don't take a shower with it. But it is on me every single day. I carry appendix, and recently, for gosh, probably about the past, what is it now? I don't know, 5, 6 months. It's been the Staccato C2. So it is on me, and it's got the 124 HSTs in it, always does. Backup mag on the side, horizontally. But yes, definitely carry. And, I look at it this way. It's kind of like car insurance. You have it, but you might not ever need it. Same thing with a gun. If you've got it on you, something were to happen, you've got it. Some people, and they've actually said, you're paranoid. You're so paranoid. Paranoid. No, not paranoid, prepared. So that's the way you need to go with it. It's not paranoia, it's just preparedness. So, but no, I don't have a shower gun. Daily on my body unless in car and I have to beside me. That's often to tune out about 50,000 miles. Yeah, I hear you. Since we're talking about this, and this was even brought up to me, and I've asked other people about it. Okay, so you have like a main carry gun. So have a carry gun with you that you carry every day. Is that also your bedside gun, or do you have a different gun? Really curious about that too. So do you use your bedside or your carry gun as your bedside gun, or do you have a whole separate one? Yep, never paranoid, just ready. Exactly. Better to be paranoid than dead. Yes. Nothing wrong with being paranoid. I saw a video one time, it was a long time ago, but a guy was getting in the shower and there was a big like Ziploc bag hooked on the wall, and he put his gun in there and zipped it up, and then he turned on the shower. I think it was like a parody joke. He was trying to be funny with it, but I thought that was pretty cool. No, bedside is James Johnson, different guns. Bedside is different. Home defense is always the best carry piece. 19X beside 365 carry. Different gun for walking, bedside and carry. 1911 for on the body and bed. Glock for the shower. Bedside and carry gun. My carry gun separate from bedside gun. Yeah, and that's kind of what it is with me. So my carry gun, it's different than my bedside gun. Not that now, of course, when I travel in hotels and I'm traveling on the road, I usually carry a PDW with me, so I've got that in case something pops off. But I've also got my physical carry gun, which has been the STI, so it's right there on the nightstand. But when I'm at home, it is a different gun. And what's crazy, the bedside gun, and everybody's going to be like, "What?" But there's a reason for it. It is the 19X, so that's what I have as a carry gun, or excuse me, as a bedside gun. And there's a reason for that. All around the house, only where I know they are, there's 19X or there's Glock 19X mags and extended mags with base plates located around the establishment, you might say that. So there you go. And then, of course, I've got the PDW, which could be a 5.56 or 300 blackout, depending on if I'm traveling state to state. If I'm in my state, it's suppressed. If it's out of the state, we'll just go with that. It's not, but it's usually right there, and I don't leave it in the bag. It's just kind of tilted in the corner right there, ready to roll. So Parts by Teddy, CZP40. Carry gun is an SP01. Bedside gun is a Daniel Defense 300 blackout. And of course, I've got a 12 gauge too, but Dennis has a 12 gauge, Glock 30 bedside. Carry a mouse gun, out of sight, out of mind. Nobody prison carries, do they? Just joking. Yeah, and see, Kim, that's funny that you bring that up because that was actually the next question. Do you have lights on your guns? Like, do you have a bedside on your bedside gun? Do you actually have a light on it, or even on your carry gun? Do you have a light on it? That was going to be the next question. So, or a flashlight? Do you have like a flashlight right beside it? I'll just go ahead and say on my bedside gun, it's got a light. On my carry gun, it's got a light. So, and I do carry when I carry on my person, I have a pocket flashlight also because I don't want to be aiming a gun at somebody and turning on the light. But if I'm having to start blasting, if I have to start blasting, I'm kicking that light on the gun and doing work. James Johnson, P10C for bedside. That's what I was saying. My carry ammo, and it has been for years because I've actually tested it on frozen pig heads, is HST 124 non plus P. With modern guns, you really don't need plus P like you used to with the old revolvers. And I'm not trying to get in an argument. I know a lot of people like plus P. I know that. But a lot of people don't know what plus P means. But plus P is an overpressured round. So it does give you a little more velocity and a little more oomph. However, with the overpressurization, it actually adds more pressure to the chamber. So doesn't mean that the guns can't handle it. However, over time, it can cause a problem. You can get stress cracks and things like that in the barrels. And ask me how I know. This is not BS, and this was personal. I actually have a license, which means MPI. Y'all have heard bulk carrier groups. Are they MPI tested? That's magnetic particle inspection testing. I actually used to perform MPIs in aviation. So I took a bunch of my barrels, my slides, stuff like that in, and actually put the liquid on it, magnetized them, and I was able to check. And wherever you put the liquid, it actually has slivers of metal, and it will show up in any small stress cracks. These can be tiny stress cracks. Doesn't mean your barrel is going to crack or collapse. I'm not going there. I'm just saying you can have problems. That is one reason I do not have 40 calibers anymore, is because of that. At that time, I took in probably 5 40 caliber, or no, it was 4 40 calibers, and tested them. You know, and I had ran some plus P, non plus P, but I had ran the crap out of these guns. And on the 40 calibers, they had more stress cracks than any of my 9s. You know, it is what it is. Didn't mean they were going to break. But after I proved that to myself and saw it for myself, I just went away from them, and I never used plus P anymore. You know, with the modern ammo now, you're going to get, and I've actually, and this was a long time ago, but we chronoed it, and I probably will be doing some chrono more, but we chronoed it, and the plus P was just, I mean, slightly. It wasn't like 200, you know, more velocity or anything like that per second. It was actually pretty minimum, especially out of a small barrel or a 4-inch barrel. It's not drastic. So a lot of people think, you know, because it's plus P that it's better. However, on your follow-up shots, plus P, unless you've got a really stable grip and a monster grip, plus P can be bad for some people to shoot for your follow-up shot because it's got a little more pop. So it might not be as accurate. So that's just my opinion. I'm not, you know, I'm not telling you what to do. Yeah, Gold Dot is very good stuff. And on my 45, I shoot HST 230 grain. I'm just a big HT or HST fan. I mean, I've seen what it'll do with frozen pig heads. I've shot HST, I've shot Gold Dot, and Gold Dot's very good too. Shot Hornady, and I have a Hornady story, and I've said it probably numerous times. Y'all might not remember it, but this is with the old Hornady where it had the rubber, you know, the flat rubber on the end. And I think I have a video of it. It's way, way back when. But I was shooting my FS or FNS 9. I had multiple. I mean, I've got 12 or 13 mags for that gun. I had them loaded up with a bunch of HST and all this other stuff, and I was shooting only HST at the time. And I ran continuously I mean, I was mag dumping it, and I think I ran 3 or 4 complete full size 17 round or 18 round mags through it. I think it's 17 rounds. Um, through it, the barrel got hot, the feed ramp got hot, the gun was getting hot, and every time it would feed one of the Hornadays up with the rubber on the end, it was actually leaving the polymer and melting onto the feed ramp. It actually jammed up the gun. So ever since then, I've never used it. I did reach out to Hornaday way back when, and they said since then they've changed the polymer on the tips. I just won't go back to it. And that's my personal experience. Most people will never put 4 or 5 complete mags through their gun and just shoot the crap out of it. Most people will never do that with carry ammo. They'll do it with full metal jackets, but they won't do it with carry ammo, especially not now. Yeah, and that's and I've done this debate and done this test, with 124, 147, 115, 150. I've done that, and where I think 147, especially during, like if it's super super cold out, somebody's got a monster thick, leather jacket on or a big goose down jacket or something like that. 115 is really fast, so it could over penetrate potentially if the nose didn't open up. If the hollow point did not open properly, it's going to turn into a full metal jacket and keep on cruising. 147, it might not go in that person with the really thick jacket or whatever they're wearing, where the 124 keeps the speed up, and it's 124 grains. So, and multiple shots on target. I just feel more comfortable with the 124. It's a personal opinion. I'm not knocking anybody who shoots what they want. I just think 124 is the sweet spot for me. Somebody was asking about a barrel. I'm trying to find that. Yes, I would say definitely the barrels are better today. I've only had one barrel failure, and it was on a Gen 1 M&P full size. Had the feed ramp, actually, a piece of the feed ramp crack off. Yeah, I heard about that today. Civilians are launched into orbit. How you doing, Redbird? Hey, what's up, shooting with Uncle Dan? How are you, man? Actually, if you want serious velocity and you do a chrono, check 115 out of a 16-inch PCC. It smokes the 147 with speed, because 147 is a slower moving bullet. Yeah, you can shoot some 115 out of it. It'll fly. Yeah, I didn't see your comment, see Kim, but that's kind of what I was talking about. Uncle Dan pushing that Glock Nation. Yes, it was Pistol Pete. I could get it for $19.99. Matter of fact, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 boxes of it recently, and that's what I paid was $19.99. I picked up more of it. I keep tons of hollow point because I do cycle those. A lot of people, I carry a gun every single day. It's in the gun, and then I'll run it. A lot of people just keep it in there for years and years and years. I'll keep it in there for like 3 or 4 months, and then I'll shoot that mag, and then I'll reload another mag. So I'm constantly rotating. But one thing I don't do is I always keep one in the chamber. I don't eject the mag and eject the round and then try to put it back in, because you're gonna smash that. Gosh, what's the actual word for it? But you're gonna smash that round you put in the chamber. So that can be a problem. It can cause overpressure and stuff like that. Yeah, I think honestly, and this is just my opinion, I think Gold Dots and HST are probably the best stuff on the market, in my personal opinion. I just prefer HST. So, but I don't think you can go wrong. And the only reason I don't like Hornaday is because I had that issue with them, a personal issue, not what I heard. It happened to me. And if y'all go way back, you can probably find that video, and you can just see that shit smeared all on that feed ramp. And it would not even chamber around. It got that bad. So I don't mess with that. And they did say they changed the polymer tips, so they probably are better now. But I'm just like, I'm not going to mess with that. This is actually a great question, Lynn. Does everyone have Ear Pro on or near the nightstand? No, I don't. Nope. I do not. It's probably a bad thing. Um, if worse came to worse, I could do this if I had to. But no, I don't keep it like right there. You're probably going to be taking on an intruder in your underwear. So I don't know how. Now, if I was going with a rifle or a PDW, I would have a suppressor on it at home. But yeah, imagine popping off some buckshot in your house. That wouldn't be fun. I have shot pistols in a building. It was a shoot house, like an old house in the woods. I've done that. And it's friggin' loud. So I can imagine with windows, insulation, doors, it's probably going to be even louder. That wouldn't be fun. You would definitely have some tendonitis after that. All right. Big Johnson, do you ever carry OWB? If so, what brand of OWB light bearing holster would you recommend for the staccato? I'm actually I do carry outside waistband if I'm, if you've ever seen when I'm at the range, I show it sometimes, but I've got my tactical belt, I guess you could say. And if I'm shooting the Glock, I've got a Safari Land on there. What is it? The level 2, where you've got to push the button and pop it out. I've got, I have a T-Rex Ragnarok. I've got the Harry's holster. I've got his outside waistband that I use for competition. Those are probably my main ones. Oh, I've got a couple that are, for that I carry under a jacket. Like when it's really cold, sometimes I'll carry outside waistband, but I pull my jacket over it. I don't just walk around with the gun hanging out. That's just not me. But if I'm out in the woods, yes, I will open carry. Or if I'm at the range with my race belt or tactical belt. Let me catch back up here real quick. Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm not saying HST is going to run the best in your gun or whatever. I always, especially if it's a new gun, or new to you, or you're new to guns, I would recommend getting some different brands, see which one you prefer. Back when I was doing those tests with those frozen pig heads, I used to be able to get them from the butcher way back when, even before YouTube, and we would set them up on racks and we could shoot them. They were frozen pig heads. Well, now he doesn't give them, or I can't get them anymore because now people buy them and they use them. I don't know, they scrape the cheek meat off or something. So now they actually sell them and people eat them. So he won't give them to me anymore. But, from the test that I did, it was pretty devastating with the 124. Yeah, overseeding, that's what it's called. Bullet setback. Yes, Uncle Dan, it is called bullet setback. Or that's what the term. Yep, that's what I'm saying. But I look at it this way: if you're having to go for chest shots because they've got a chest available and the guy's got a big old monster jacket on, that's why I just prefer 124. But yeah, especially depending on the range, the distance that you're at, most are going to be good. All right. I remember Redbird was testing this. She said she's doing good and she's been shooting with the red dot more. Or a lot more. She's loving it more and more. That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely, once you get hooked on a dot, it's hard to go away from a dot. Matter of fact, this past weekend, I didn't even film it. And that's the thing. A lot of times especially now, when I go to practice or I go to shoot, I'm there with a purpose, and I don't really want to be jacking with the camera and not concentrating on what I'm doing. So I'm trying to focus more on that. So sorry about not having the shooting videos. More will come. But I shot some iron sight guns, some of my iron sight guns that I haven't shot in a long time. I shot some of those, and then shot dot guns. So I was comparing, like iron sights again this weekend, iron sights to the dot, and the dot was definitely winning. I mean, by a lot. So I'm definitely getting even more and more and more better, if that's even a word. And I did go through some of my HST. That's why I picked up some more, because in all of those guns I shot, I mean, I keep guns loaded, I don't just keep them unloaded, but I keep one in the chamber. So I went and shot off a bunch of HST. And that brings up another point. If you carry, for your daily carry, if you carry 124, it's also better to practice with 124, because you get the same feeling. So, and I know that 115 is cheaper, and I have a ton of 115, I have a ton of 124. So there's a lot of times I'll just go shoot 115. But if you're newer to guns, I always recommend whatever grain you carry is what grain you practice with also. Because they will be different. They'll feel different. Look at Dan. I beat up on him so much about getting the pistol dot. He got it, and now I am hooked on pistol dots. I'll never go back. I knew you. I told you you would be that way. You fought me and fought me. Let's see here. Hang on. Hey, what's up, Links Defense? How are you, man? Links Defense is in the house. Y'all need a great bag? Definitely buy Links Defense. Hopefully we'll have a surprise here pretty quickly. I did get another bag in from him that I bought, and I'll be doing a review on it, but it's awesome. I've even carried it at the range, gosh, like 3 times now. I love it. It's a rifle bag, and yeah, great bag. He makes good stuff. And if you want to save 5% off anything on his site, discount code is Big Johnson, capital B, capital J, all smashed together. That'll save you 5% off anything he sells. But he has some awesome stuff. Hey, what's up, Armsman? How are you, man? All right. It's his favorite chat. Love to hear that. Y'all smash that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. YouTube is doing me dirty. They're deleting a lot of y'all's comments and actually starting to delete videos. They are political videos, but let's see. Let me catch back up here. I was going back up to catch some other. Hey, what's up, Channel Cat? Channel Cat's in the house too. My brother from another mother. Links, we got to get you converted, man. You would be a believer. You would be a believer. Think about it. You like red dots on your PDWs and your rifles and stuff. I know you do. Throw one on a pistol and give it a shot. All right, this is actually a good question. Rock Chalk, is it true red dots mounted on all steel guns wear out faster than dots mounted on polymer guns, as polymer absorb the force of a repeated recoil better? I call bullshit on that. I'm just being honest with you. I have dots on CZ Shadow 2s. I have dots on Alloy, which is a steel, 2011 staccatos. I have dots. I mean, I've got dots on steel guns. I've got them on my STI 45. And that thing's a recoil, or it definitely punches. I mean, I'm not recoil sensitive, but if you watch videos, you will see that thing come back. I've got dots on Glocks. I've got dots on CZ P10Cs. I have not had one dot fail, and I'm being 1,000% honest. I've got Trigicon SROs. I've got 3 of those. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. I have had 2 Delta Point Pros fail because they're shit. I do not recommend Delta Point Pros to save my life. I will never buy another one ever, ever, ever as long as I live. You heard it from me. I've had 2 of them fail. It was not the gun's fault. It was the electronics in the Delta Point Pro. So I will never buy another one. Matter of fact, the one that I have now, I don't even shoot with it. It's just there. And it half-ass works sometimes. I haven't had any problems with any hollow suns. I think I have 12 or 13 of them. I haven't had any problems with the Trigicon RMR. Trying to think if there's any others. I haven't tried any of the real less expensive ones. I haven't personally tried any of the Swamp Fox. I'm not saying that they're bad. I just haven't tried them. I can only speak on what I've physically tried. I mean, not just shot one time. I'm talking about carried, tried, beat up, things like that. I haven't had any go out. I've changed the batteries like I should. One time I pushed a hollow sun really long. I think it was like 2.5 years, and the damn thing was still working. But yes, I love dots. So I will not be going away from dots. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on these. Man, these things are flying by. Jay Howe, just so you know this, I have my best friend in the world and his son. I actually took them shooting. They were shooting dots, or excuse me, they were shooting irons and have shot irons. They're not, I guess you could say they're newer to shooting guns. So I had them shoot irons. I was there with them, showing him the grip and everything. And then I brought out 2 dot guns, my 45 STI and my Staccato C2 with the dot. None of them have ever shot dots, neither one of them. I looked at their group with the irons and the same distance. We were shooting his Colt 45, and then I let him shoot my STI 45 with the dot. His groups, both of them, their groups went from like this at 7 yards to that instantly. Same grip, same everything. The 9mm was actually even better. They were shooting a Glock 45 that he owns, and his groups were okay. With the STI or the Staccato, it actually got better. That was their first time ever shooting a dot. So is dots only for, or not for beginner shooters? I disagree with that. I think you could train somebody. Now, they need to know where the irons are. However, for a newer shooter, when they're trying to line everything up and have the proper spacing, that can get confusing for a new shooter. But when you tell a new shooter, look at your target, look through the optic, don't stare at the dot, look through the optic and just let the dot get in the way. When they start doing that, it really changes things, or it did for them. And I've seen it with other people too. Hey, what's up, IBG? That's rice. All right. AJ says, new to a dot. I'm not going back to irons. Just bought my second dot. Cool. And I'm not saying irons are bad. I'm not saying that. I mean, I still have iron guns. I'm just saying for the past, I don't know what, 2 or 3 years since I commit 2 years or over 2 years since I 100% committed to dots, I'm sold. I won't ever go back. A buddy of mine had to shoot a bear on his deck. He shot all 15 rounds. The bear barely died. He now carries a 45 ACP or 10mm. He lives in the Tennessee mountains, and bears are common. Yeah. Now, were those headshots? 15 rounds of 9mm headshots, or was he just shooting at the body? I'm just curious. I really love the SRO. A lot of people people say, "Oh, it's not for duty carry." I know that. However, I've been concealed carrying the SRO on 2 different guns now for 2 years. I haven't had one issue with them, and a lot of people think because the SRO is a little bigger that it causes a problem with the appendix, or you'll feel it more. You don't. You don't feel it any different than you do a normal dot. C Kim is saying, notice been a lot of Glock clones lately, most up there, $600 plus. Yeah, I have seen a lot of the Glock clones. I mean, everybody wants a piece of that pie. That's the thing. They're pumping them out. The only Glock clone, and I'll say this, the only Glock clone that I would personally buy would be a Shadow Systems. That's just me. That's the only Glock clone that I would actually buy. I actually really like them. And now that they've got the longer grip one, I tried it and I do like it. I just, I've got Glocks and stuff, so. This was brought up on a competition shooting forum. What was Rock Chalk? I'm curious. Unless it was the question I just answered. Oh, where did that go? Well, these things are jumping. I touch them and they're getting pretty. Golly. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with these. What was your backup sights when and if failed? On most of mine, I've got, oh my gosh, Dawson Precision, all blacks. I don't really want, and I've got like on my Staccato, it's got the fiber optics, which are fine. And a lot of people, I've got a green fiber optic and I've got a red dot. When I'm looking through that, I never, ever, ever see that front sight, because with dots, you're not matching up your front sight. You're not trying to shoot with your front sight. You're looking through it and letting the dot get in the way. 12 or 13? Oh, with the Holostons, I've got a bunch of dots on guns. I'll never lay them all out. If you've seen a lot of the picture, well, I don't do Instagram anymore, thank God. But yeah, I love dots. Yes, I remember the Seymours, those big old monster things. Yeah. I've never seen a Seymour on a carry gun. I mean, I know they make them the round one, like the SRO, and it's actually bigger, but I've never seen anybody carry one. I did have a problem with the Romeo one. It was the original Romeo on my X5 non-Legion. I did have a problem with it. It started flickering. And so I sent it in and they sent it back. And I won't buy another SIG optic personally. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that has one. Please don't take it derogatory. I'm just saying in my experience. Armsman is saying, used to be skeptical about red dots, love them now. My only concern is not having the co-witness. Not sure why companies don't design their cut without removing the rear sight. Hello, son is the bomb. Yeah, and here's the thing, and I'm going to say it, and I did a video on it, so I can prove it. All right, if you have the correct grip, and you're not one of those, where it's all over the place. If you got the correct grip on the gun and you're bringing it up to the same spot every time, and that's training yourself, and you can do that with dry fire, and you use the window. Now, in the video, and y'all can go watch it, I put it up. I was at 7 yards. The gun, the P07, has no sights on it. Not a front, not a back. Also, the optic. On one video, I turned the optic off. I showed everybody in the video the optic's off. I held it up. I actually used the square as my target, and I just imagined there was a dot there. I shot at 7 yards, and the group was about that big. And it's on video. I'm not making this up. Then what I did is I taped the front of the optic, and I taped the back of the optic. So I couldn't see shit. I couldn't see through the optic. I had no sights on the gun. I showed all that on video. Look, there's no lines. You can't see air through it. You can't see anything. I held the same, put it in the exact same spot. I shot the same freaking group with 0 sights, no optic, tape all over it, and shot the same freaking group at 7 yards. So it can be done. It's called point shooting. Now, would I point shoot somebody at 25 yards away? Probably not. This was just 7 yards. Most of your issues are going to be pretty close. So it can be done. Heck yeah, Pistol Pete. Everybody thumbs up this chat. Yep, I've said the exact same thing. I remember all the old guys, all my old buddies. You're crazy. Red dots will never take off. You need to shoot your iron dots. Or iron, yeah. I mean, iron sights. Dots are stupid. They'll fail. Hello, Floridian. How are you, man? Big Johnson, Holosun is going to make the ACSS reticle in an enclosed pistol sight. I'm not sure if it's going to be the 509. What do you think? If you look, Liberator, if you actually look at the thumbnail on this chat, that's what's on that gun. It's the ACSS reticle, and it's in an enclosed pistol sight on that CZ that's in the thumbnail, and I've been shooting it, and I actually really like it. It's called the, gosh, what is it called? Not the Raptor. It's called something else, but actually I really like that sight a lot. I highly recommend it, especially for new dot shooters, because it gives you the 100 MOA ring in case you're, I call it dot fishing. But yeah, I really do like it. Yeah, Crazy Horse, that is a shadow system. The Warrior Poet's pistol is a shadow systems. And yes, I would recommend it. But yeah, once you get used to a dot, you can actually use the window, even if your dot went down. You could actually just use it as kind of a little peep sight if you had to. So you could just put it right on somebody, through the window, and it's going to go within that, how big that pistol box is. So you can just use it as like a little goalpost. But I've never had one go down. As long as you monitor your batteries and just stay on top of them, just change them on your birthday, you're good to go. But what I do is after I change them, I mark the tops with a colored pen. This one is a gold one, so um, I've got my studs or my bolts, that go down through there. I've got those marked with a pen to see if they ever move. And then I've got the little cap cover. I mark it with a different color pen every time I change the battery. So one year it'll be gold. The next year it'll be, what do I have? A silver. I don't know. I've got different colors of these, but they're actual paint pens. And then you can just take acetone and wipe off that color when you change the battery and go to the next year. That's how I do mine. Because I got so many of them, if I wrote them all down, I wouldn't remember. So I can look at the colors and tell which ones have been changed and which ones haven't. Top of the muscle, okay. Yeah, M&P 2.0s are nice. I think they were made in the same plant, but they were made to different specs, is what I heard. I don't know if that's true. This is a good question. LZ is asking, Big Johnson, do your sites co-witness with your red dots? Okay, that's one thing that you're going to find out. A lot of people now to get a close, like if on my 509, I've got co-witness sites or suppressor sites, but a lot of people think you're just going to put the dot right over the top of your front sight and you're going to be good to go. Well, on some of them, it might be that way. Some of them, when you really get a good dot setup, when you're hitting everything with the dot, it could be a little to the right of the front sight post. It could be a little to the left of the right sight post. It could be a little higher. So that's not going to be your 100%. But yes, I would say 90% of mine do co-witness, but I really don't ever use the actual iron sights on the gun. I would only use them if the dot went down. If that gun did not, like my PO7, I still don't have co-witness sights on it, and I'm not scared of it either. I would feel perfectly adequate without those sights. I mean, I proved it to myself in that video. So point shooting is no joke. You can do it, and a lot of people have never tried it, but you can. Most people with really good grips, and I'm not saying my grip's the best in the world. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying a lot of people can actually point shoot. I've actually point shooted through a whole freaking match back when I shot irons. I point shot my not the Shadow 2, my Tanfolio, that hard chrome. I actually did a whole complete match and point shooted the whole damn match, and actually scored really good. So Pistol Pete, what a lot of people do is they will tape the front of the optic, and you can still see the dot, but they'll tape the front of it. That's what Pops does. I actually taped the front and the back, so I couldn't even see the dot, because if you tape the front of it, you'll still see your dot, and you can superimpose it onto whatever you're shooting. So your eye will actually superimpose your brain. It's crazy how it works, but it works. Yeah, Sage is no joke. He does great videos. Sage Dynamics. Yeah, he puts them through the test. Occluded. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, your dominant eye. And I've done that before. I did that even when I did that. I used an aim point, a real aim point, when I went out and shot that airsoft match. I had a real freaking aim point on there. And they were saying, a lot of guys were like, "Oh man, that's a cool fake aim point." I was like, "No, it's a real aim point." And they're like, "Holy shit, you brought that out here?" And they're like, "It didn't have a front cover on it, or it had a front cover, but they were saying if one of those BBs hit it, that it could break it, and then aim point won't warranty it." So what I did is I closed the front cover, which was completely black, and I shot it just like what Uncle Dan's saying, the occluded or occlusion or whatever it's called. So I was seeing black, but I could see the dot, and I could just superimpose it on something. So I did that through the whole airsoft match with that aim point. Thanks, Crazy Horse. I appreciate it, man. Yep. Texas proud, born and raised. Where I'll die. Oh, cool. Channel Cat's working on a new 9mm PCC build. That's awesome, man. Are you doing like a 16-inch version? And obviously, you said PCC, so I'm sure you're going to shoot it in competition. But yeah, they're fun. They're fun as shit. But you will go through serious ammo, man. Those things eat ammo. Fina, I actually have astigmatism in both eyes. I've talked about it many times. They all can be blurry, and everybody's stigmatism is different. So you can see a comet, you can see a blistering, you can see a bloom. I have glasses. Now, if I shoot outdoors, I have my Oakleys, and they're set, and it does help with stigmatism. And then I have indoor ones, but I don't like the indoor ones. I don't like them. You've seen them in some videos. So what I've just told myself is, dummy, you can still shoot. Even if it's bloomed a little bit, I'll turn it down. And if you turn it down, you'll get, even if you see a little bit of a bloom, you'll get a darker dot. Use that darker dot as your aiming point. And that's what I've done. And I'm just shooting through it. So, and it's still working for me. It's not perfect, but I can get the shots I need. And like I've said before, I am not a bullseye shooter. I don't give two shits about being a bullseye shooter. I don't care. If that ring is that big, I want to be in that ring. If that's a head, I want to be in that head. That's all I care about. I don't care if I shoot you in the left quadrant of your right eyeball. I don't give a shit about that. So that's the way I shoot. I'm not doing it for, oh, that's a good group, or oh my God, you're a bullseye shooter. I don't care. And people that shoot like that, I'm not a bench rest shooter, so I'm just not into that. Now, way back in the day, um, I was actually more accurate than I am now. Um, as you get older, you're going to lose a little bit of your eyesight's not like what it used to be and stuff like that. But I'm definitely still a decent shooter. That's all I care about. Josh is saying, any recommendations on who to use on getting a CZP01 milled for a holosun? I love Fire for Effect. They do great work. They've done 3 of my pistols, and all of them have been fantastic. They've just done 2 rifles for me, or PDWs. They came out perfect. They get the lowest cut. Literally, with my Shadow 2s, I have, with the stock sights, as low as they've gotten it, the stock sights now co-witness with my SROs. So, I definitely love Fire for Effect. And I know those guys personally, and I know the work they put out, and I know the time that they put into it. The gunsmith is unbelievable. I'm not going to say his name, but he has built some of the nicest 1911s for some of the biggest pro shooters you've ever heard. And he knows them personally. So he does really, really great work, and their milling is unbelievable. So, Texas, Arizona, we point shoot more than most. Hey, it gets it done, man. Yeah, and Uncle Dan is bringing up a good point. I shoot a lot of 2 MOAs or 2.5 MOAs, and this is the thing with my stigmatism. I have a 5 MOA on my SRO. If I go over a 5, it doesn't work for me because, for one, I have to turn it way, way down. But if the sun is super, super bright and I turn it up to where I can see it, a 2 MOA with my stigmatism, it could turn it into a 4. And that's one thing. If you get a smaller dot, you can always turn up the intensity to bloom it. Now, that is not the proper thing to do. I'm just telling you. However, if you start out with a big old monster dot and you have stigmatisms, you can never turn that big dot down. So if you get like a 6 or a 7, you can't turn a 6 or a 7 down to a 3 or a 4. You just can't do it. So for me, I prefer the smaller dots, and then I can bloom them if I want to. That's not the proper thing to do, though, but it does work for me. So I would say do what works for you. If you can go somewhere and test them out and look through them, you might find one that you really like. Yes, and I will agree with Pistol Pete. The Holosun 507 ACSS, it actually has a chevron instead of a dot. And I would show you, but I can't, YouTube will freak out. But it's a chevron. And it actually, with my stigmatism, the chevron does look really, really nice. Yeah, Liberator, they're actually making it's kind of like the Huey. It's a little square one for like a rifle. I talked about it last week. It's called the AGGS or something like that. And it actually does look really nice. So, and it's not a holographic, it's actually a red dot, and it does look really good. Bunch of Odin Works parts. That's cool. Yep, I love ring and steel. That's always good. Yeah, James, that's kind of what I believe. Combat shooting or USPSA shooting, style. I'm not worried about putting a hole inside of a hole. If I was going to do that, I'd have a rifle. Now, can I sit there if I just sit there and really, shoot slow and ding, ding? Yeah, I mean, I can shoot some pretty good groups. I mean, I've done it before. I've even got videos where I've shot like a fingernail. It's no bigger than a fingernail with a 9mm, and I think that was 7 yards. Um, and I've got that even on video. But it's like, why shoot that slow? I like to shoot fast, and I know some people can shoot fast and they can shoot holes in holes, but I just don't give two shits about that personally. I'm not doing it for the gram. I'm doing it for me. Had issues with the DPP and a Burris FF3. Jumped to Holosun since and never looked back. Big Johnson Guns and Gear. What optic were your worst experience? Delta Point Pros. Delta Point Pros. I had two of them that totally took a shit. I had to send them. I had a total of three of them. I still have one. I had two of them that took a shit. I sent them back. They replaced them. I got them back, and they sent me brand new ones, I guess, in a box. And then I sold both of them. Didn't even want them. So Delta Point Pro is a piece of shit for me. I don't like it. Kathleen, I have a laser ammo dry fire. It's the new Mantis. It's their Laser Academy. I've talked about it before. I like it. It's cool. But honestly, I do prefer their other Mantis over the laser because, for one, I'm not really a laser person. I don't care about seeing, the little dot when I pull the trigger. It doesn't matter to me. And I don't use lasers on my guns. I've got some like TLR 7A or the TLR 8A with the laser on it. I love the light. I don't like laser. What's up, Paul M? How are you, man? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them for practice. Hell, if you like it, use it. I mean, there's not one cookie cutter thing that should be for one person. That's why I believe in freedom, choices, do what you want, shoot what you enjoy. I won't ever tell anybody, hey, that's a dumb gun. There's a bunch of piece of shit guns out there that I would never purchase in my life because I either have history with them or whatever. And there's some that I just feel on them like this thing's a piece of trash. I'm just saying opinions, but I would never beat up anybody for buying that particular gun, especially if it worked for them. Now, if somebody's asking me, like, which gun should I buy? The first thing I say is, hey, either go rent some guns, maybe try this one, and this one and see which one you like. Or even like personal friends of mine, I'll just take them out and I'll say, hey, I'll bring 5 or 6 pistols, different brands. I won't tell you which one to buy or anything. You just try them, see which ones you shoot best. We'll do different groups with each pistol and we'll let you prove it to yourself. That's the best thing you can do. Yeah, Dan, I guess he uses the Mantis Laser Academy. It's pretty cool. You just put it, put the little cartridge in there, and it has the little targets. You can set up your iPhone. It'll monitor them, and you've got a little app that you can track it with it. I mean, it's cool. I've played with it and stuff. I just prefer the other Mantis, the Elite or the X10, I believe. I do prefer it over the Laser Academy. Let's see here. Also, just so you know, I have had 2 companies reach out to me, and these are actually pretty well-known companies. I'm not going to say who they are. I don't particularly care for their products. They reached out to me, sent an email to me, and said, we would like you to, recommend our product and do videos on our products. One of them said something to this effect, and I'm just kind of adding what both of them said together. Here's your discount code that we've already set up. Here's your affiliate link code, da-da-da-da-da. And I typed back to both of them, and I'm like, I haven't even tested your shit. I know nothing. I mean, I know about them, but I'm like, I haven't personally tested it. Why are you sending me affiliate links? You don't even know me. I don't even know you. We don't have a relationship in any way, shape, or form. So no, I don't want your crap. Don't send it to me. And I decline. And I declined both of them. One of the companies wrote me a shitty email back, an actual shitty email saying, well, I guess we don't need you either. How dare you not, do this for us? And I'm like, who the F are you? So anyway, that's been recent. So, and if you know me from way, way back, I work with Harry's Holsters. I work with Lock Grips. I work with Lynx Defense. I work with X-Tac. These guys, I was buying their stuff and using their stuff way before I ever had an affiliate link with them. I had a relationship with these people. I really believed in their products. I trust their products. I trust their customer service. I trust everything about them. Nobody's just going to set me up. And I know that there's people that do this on YouTube. Matter of fact, I have been seeing one company quite a bit, and their stuff is freaking trash. It's freaking trash. And there's like 5 or 6 people pushing their shit, and they have affiliate links. And I'm like, nope. But they're doing it. So, and it is whatever it is. But, I'm not them, but their stuff is crap. And I will just say, one of them is a holster company. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to drop anybody in the grease because that's not what I do. That's totally classless. But if you look around, you'll figure out who they are. Because basically, they wanted me to do like a box opening review and then throw out a link. Do you think I'm actually going to recommend something that I haven't carried, I haven't tested, I haven't put through the paces, driven down the road 10 hours with it on me? You don't think I'm going to test that? I'm just going to open a box and say, oh, here's my discount code. Seriously? Fucking people are crazy, man. I was pissed. And when that guy actually said that back to me, I'm like, you piece of shit. But, I could pretty much call them out, but I'm not going to do that. I wear readers for close up and see fine or see far. So my problem is I can't see the dot fine without glasses, but cannot see my front iron sight clearly. So I shoot with a blurry front sight, but clear target. Fina, I feel you. It's really funny, but when I'm working, these are actually working on computers and stuff. These are actually just magnified, but they're like kind of those industrial readers. But I think it's one. I have one that's a 1.5 or a 1, and then this one's a 2. But it kind of gives me a headache. I think it's too much magnification. But that's the same with me. So when I'm up close, however, that's the thing. You can make the dot a little brighter. It could blister, but you're going to see it better. So that's just what works for me. No, Uncle Dan, it was not. I won't. They have reached out to me. They reached out to me a long time ago, and that's not me. And that's another thing. I won't ever recommend. I won't ever, if I don't believe in a product and I wouldn't buy it and I wouldn't personally use it on my gun and I wouldn't keep it on my gun, or at least think I would, I'm not even going to test it. So that's just me. I'm not knocking anybody that uses those products and likes those products, but I don't need that. Well, my Kai, I just tell it like it is. I'm not here to sugarcoat shit and be friends with companies who just want a bunch of people to whore out their shit. That's not what I'm about. That's why I prefer the smaller, honest channels like yours. Yeah, and I'm not saying a lot of the big guys lie. I'm not calling anybody out. I know some of them do. Some of them are in it for the money, but I just don't like that crap. It just pisses me off. A-Dubs, Big Johnson, do you have enough pull with Harry to get him to do weapon mounted light compatible holsters? A-Dubs, hold your horses. And yes, I have been talking to Harry for 2 years now on getting that, and he is working on it. But I will tell you this, Harry will not put out a piece of shit. He will not put out garbage. He's going to make it perfect. So just hold your horses. But yes, matter of fact, I just talked to him today. We talk about 3 times a week. So just hold your horses. So trust me carrying a light, I've been carrying lights for a long time. I don't on every gun, but yes, I've been carrying lights for a long time. So just hold your water. Still haven't had any luck finding a P10C optics ready. What do you think about me getting a P10F optics ready and cutting the grip down to fit a 15-round magazine? Now, depending on your size, your height, and all that stuff, and if you feel comfortable, I carry, but I'm 6'3", I'm a big guy. I carry the P10F. I've carried it many, many times. You're only talking about that much longer in the grip, and the rest is going to be down your pants. So if you're going to carry, appendix, it's not a big deal. If you're going to carry it to 3 o'clock, it's really not that much bigger of a deal. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with. The The P10F, of course, does have half-inch longer muzzle. It does have, about probably an inch, longer grip, or an inch and a quarter. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I know many people do it. I mean, I know people that carry Glock 34s and they're like 5'7", so it can be done. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. But the P10F is a fabulous gun. It is a fantastic gun. Matter of fact, it's even more fun on the range to shoot a lot. Not that either one of them are bad under recoil, because they're not. But you can just get more grip on it. It's got a longer grip, more ammo. So, if you had the option to buy it, I'd say buy it. But it all really comes down to what you are going to be happy with. But can you cut it down? Yes, you absolutely can. However, once you cut it, you can never, well, I'm sorry, you could put P10F mags in it, if you wanted to shoot it as a big gun, they're just going to hang out. So I would just get it and then see how you are carrying it. I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Just being honest with you. Will and Will Arm, I'm a business person myself. I'm not here to bash people. But I have personally tested their holsters. With this one, I've tested theirs and they are junk. Well, I'll just say it. It's We the People. So We the People holsters are shit. So there's one of them. Hello, Russ. How are you, man? Yeah, Texas Beast. If you're talking about the same one I am, I dumped them probably a year and a half or 2 years ago. But I personally had problems with some of their lights. I even did a video on it. I know a lot of people run those lights. I'm not knocking them. The ones I had were quite a while ago, but I personally had issues with them. So Uncle Dan says, depends on what your waist size is. A long grip for me is a deal breaker, being I shop for pants in the junior misses aisle. Uncle Dan, you're funny, man. Armsman is saying, so Big J, disappointed with the CZ dropping the ball with the CZ P10M. It's a bit too late to the game. Hopefully they change the capacity and add an optic cut on a newer release. I totally agree with you, Armsman. I think the CZ P10M is a joke. I think it's way behind the time. It is, yeah, that's very disappointing. And I don't know if you really know everything about it. They're trying to make it a seamless design, so the takedown's totally different. The trigger on that thing is freaking like 8 or 9 pounds. It's not a normal P10C trigger. It is freaking like 8 or 9 pounds. It's a shit trigger. So they want to try to make it seamless and all this other stuff. That thing is a waste. I can't believe they came out with that. So Mike, I thought you were going to say Phobos. Phobos is shit. It's been shit for 100 years. It'll stay shit. It's right up there with the Serpa holster, which is 100% shit. No one should run Phobos or the other one I said, the Serpas. They're crap. Hey, thanks, Eddie. I appreciate it. Yeah, Uncle Dan, I'm not beating anybody up. I'm just saying I personally had bad luck with them. So, I have an Olight. I still hate the company. Yeah, I mean, I get it, and like I said, I'm not trying to. Yeah, and I will say this: C-Chem is right. Anybody that needs or thinking about buying a P10M, buy a P10S optic ready. I highly would recommend that. Now, me having a P10S is a joke. I actually put a picture up on the community one time where I was holding one. The P10S, like, it fits like right here. It's like the Rammy. It's just a baby gun for me. It does not work. It does not work for me. However, for a normal-handed person, I think it would be a fabulous gun. It's just not for me. I have had friends who have shot the P10S like bought it and owned it and got rid of it because it didn't shoot right under recoil. Their pinkies were falling off and all this other stuff. Hell, I can't even get I can only get 2 fingers on a P10S, and I'm not joking. So, yes, Paul, I did check them out. They're pretty awesome. Matter of fact, Texas Gun Experience still has, well, they got another shipment in, but they've got I think three in stock. I was just in there the other day, but they don't have a threaded barrel. They're not out yet. From what I hear, they're coming out with the P10F optic ready and threaded barrel. I think it's going to be called the Tactical. I think it's coming. I don't know when. So, Lynn, BJ, how do you really feel? I'll tell you how I feel. I don't hold back. I mean, there's no reason to sugarcoat shit. If stuff's crap, people need to know it's crap. But you know, yeah, I'm not here for politically correct shit. I'm not that pronoun person. I'm not that person. So I'll just tell you what I think about it. And again, mine is only an opinion. It is not the law. It's only an opinion. And that I will never really give an honest feedback on something that I haven't truly tested. But if I've tested something and it's crap, I'll tell you it's crap. Or the construction quality of it. If I'm sitting there just bowing it out and stuff, I'll tell you. And on that particular holster I mentioned earlier, I actually could take it and just squeeze it. It was just a piece of shit. It didn't even fit the gun correctly. Even with maximum retention, I could turn it over, the gun would fall out. It was just a piece of shit holster. So there you go. Let's see here. P10S is definitely a great option. I love mine. I just need an optic cut. So hooked on optics now, thinking of cutting every slide in my safe. Well, that's what I did. Armsman, I just went in and started having a bunch of guns done. And once I did some, I did more, I did more, I did more. And if I have my preference, I actually prefer a milling job over an optic ready because you're not dealing with a plate. You're getting a direct mill, so it keeps it lower to the gun. But like on my Staccato, it's got a plate. I haven't had any issues with it. I've got it marked. It hasn't loosened. But of course I use a torque wrench, inch-pound torque wrench. So, I mean, I put it on right, use the Loctite, do everything I'm supposed to do. But all right, this is actually a pretty good question. Scott Walters is saying, BJ Guns, how do you feel about finger groove grips for revolvers? Well, most of the factory finger grip grooves, they don't fit my fingers or my hands. And I've got revolvers. I have some revolvers that just have the flat. I've got some with the fingers. I don't like them personally. But, to each their own. If you like them, that's like, you could even take it back to a Glock, like a Glock Gen 4. On my Glock Gen 4 17, the finger grooves never fit me. On my Glock Gen 3 17L, I had all the finger grooves cut off. I had it smoothed. I hate finger grooves really on any gun because they never match up with my hands. If you have normal hands, they match up. I mean, I wear an XXL glove, so I'm not normal. But for the average person, they would probably not have one problem with them. Well, Armsman, I appreciate that. He's saying with the beauties you own, I sure value your opinion greatly. And I don't do those beauties, just so I can post a picture. I make my guns my own. I want them, if I find a gun that I really, really like, for one, y'all know I usually have 2 of them at least. But I get them done up like I want them because I'm not going to get rid of those guns. They're mine. And I want them done the way that I want them and the way that I want to carry them, not get them just done up and take pictures of them and then, oh, these are so cool. I don't do that. I get them done the way I want them. But I appreciate that. But I don't do them for fame or any of that kind of crap. I'm not that kind of person. I just get them like I want them done and, what makes me happy. And I do that with my PDWs. I've got a bunch of PDWs that I've had done up. I just enjoy, making them my own, just putting my flair into them or having someone put the flair into them because I actual customization. I mean, anybody can put a trigger in their own stuff and do stuff like that. But when I do custom stuff done, I just kind of, that's another reason I like working with companies where I can have input. They give me their input. I see their work. I don't just mail stuff off. I actually like to go in and try to visit with them and support those companies. Russ is saying, I got the LAS concealment holster for my Staccato 2, and I really like it. Yeah, I mean, I've got the LAS concealment holster for my Staccato 2. Or C2 Duo. I had to do quite a bit of adjustments on it. I had to do a lot of sanding on it. I had to pull the hood down for the SRO and stuff like that. But I did it, and once I adjusted everything and I added a wedge to it, it works okay for me. It's not my favorite, but it works pretty good for me now that I've done what I wanted to it. So, yeah, and that's the thing. And we've all been there. Of course, in my frugal holster journey, I went down the Phobos and Alien holster route and learned never again. Just ordered my first Safariland ALS holster. Yeah, we've all been there. And that's why I just try to share my experience. And I'm not saying, but I'm not joking right now. I can grab a bin right now, and I probably have 70 holsters in there. And they do go to different guns. Okay. And I've got 2 for some and stuff like that. However, the 2 bins I just emptied not too long ago, I even talked about it on a chat. I took 2 full-size bins of holsters up to Texas Gun Experience and gave them to a bunch of people there that I know that work there. They're great people. They treat me really good. So I took care of them and let their employees have them, because there weren't, put it this way, I had some holsters that were bad that I would not recommend. Like I could actually push in. People sent them in for testing way back in the day. I didn't even do reviews on them. I could push in the Kydex because they heated it up too much and they were into the trigger guard. I actually took those out, cut them up, and threw them in the trash. I did not give those to anybody. I put them in my recycle, matter of fact. But the ones that were definitely doable and ones that I had done some reviews on, but they just weren't for me, like 100%. I took up to Texas Gun Experience and gave them away. Matter of fact, I even gave some of them away on a chat one time. I sent somebody a SIG 320 holster and sent somebody else something. Oh, and I gave away a PO1 holster. I don't do giveaways though, but one guy, I think he was in Florida, he was like, I'm having a hard time with finding the holster that I want and all that stuff. And I just said, hey, shoot me an email and send me your address. And he did. And so I sent it to him. You got to help out the community if you can sometimes. I appreciate it, guy. Comment said, time's up for me, 57 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down, 64 watching from what I saw. Thanks for the great chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Even Taurus got it right. I don't know which Taurus you're talking about. I know you love those things. Yeah, I definitely am a wedge guy. I love the wedges on holsters. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I've even had, when I shoot I think it's my P10F, I got the very first CZ custom plate for it. Well, the plate has a small gap in it up at the front, which is strictly cosmetic. I'm not an OCD person. It does not bother me. When I show that on video, people lose their shit. They're like, oh my God, it's got a gap. It's got a gap. And I'm like, you've got locking lugs down in there. It's not going to move. And they're like, that gap drives me crazy. I'm like, hey, I get it, man. If you're OCD, it is going to bother you. But I could give 2 shits. I just want it to work. I'm just not the OCD guy. I mean, they're guns. They're going to get scratched up. They're going to get dinged up. I mean, on my custom stuff, I've got scratches and dings on them. I've got holster wear on them. I don't care. That's what it's for. A gun that's way, way too pretty doesn't get used. So that's the way I look at it. So, well, we definitely went way over. I was, trying to tell you everything I could. But yeah, I'm not a big believer in a bunch of the holsters that I see, and I'm not saying that everybody makes bad holsters. I mean, Armsman, he makes holsters too. I've never checked out one of his. I've seen them, and everybody seems to be really happy with him. So I'm sure he does a great job. But there's just a lot of people out there that are folding Kydex, don't give a shit. And I've had some of those in the past where the Kydex, you just pull the gun and it just wear the shit out of your gun. Now I know on a gun you're going to get some wear. I know that. But when it's just dragging and like literally you got to ram the gun in there, shit shouldn't be like that. So when people start putting out crap like that, or if you got all the tension completely tightened and you turn it over and your gun just falls out, that's just crap. I mean, people shouldn't be selling shit like that. Hey, what's up, Manny Things? But yeah, we'll go ahead and call this a night. I appreciate all y'all so much. Please leave any comments, questions, anything like that afterwards. I tried to make this a specific gun chat, ask y'all questions. I do want to get y'all's opinion. And we'll leave this. Y'all can leave an opinion after the chat ends if you want to. But do y'all prefer a 2-point sling or a 1-point sling? Just curious, like on your AR-15s, PDWs, things like that. 2-point sling or a 1-point sling? Because for me, every time I use a 1-point sling, when you drop it to transition to your pistol, it hits me right in the midsection, and it's not fun. So just curious. But I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, I'm seeing people say 2-point, 2-point. But yeah, y'all, I appreciate y'all so much. Phoenix or 2-point. I'll go ahead and go through these. I think Fina said I'm on a roll. Fina, you can call me Butter because I'm on a roll. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night and be safe out there. Carry on, everyone. Take care. Smash that thumbs up button.